The dynasty of the Nossack family began in 1881 with Paul Nossack Sr. He commenced his butcher apprenticeship in 1894 and opened his first business, 1907, in the Spree Forest, East Germany. He was called to service during World War I, where he sustained numerous injuries. However, his wife Elizabeth and their apprentices kept the business running. His son, Paul Jr., also a master butcher, took over the storefront in 1933. Paul Jr. served as a cook during World War II. During this time, his wife Toni and their staff ran the business. In 1951, his family had to decide whether to leave their beloved home or lose their freedom. They chose freedom and fled to Frankfurt am Main. In the fall of 1959, Paul Jr.'s son Hans officially became a master butcher, as his father and grandfather before him. Hans and his wife Ursula were raising their young sons, Karsten and Axel, in Nieder-Aschbach, a suburb of Frankfurt. By age 4, Karsten was playfully helping to make sausages, already dedicated to the history and heritage of the profession and the quality of products he helped create. Karsten went to school in Kaiserslautern to study international agricultural economics and continued to follow the family tradition of earning his master butcher certification. In the early 1970s, wild game and artisan products became the focus of the Metzgerei, the butcher shop. The family received multiple awards and rave reviews for their specialty sausages. However, after many years of successful business, they began to experience increased supermarket competition. In 1982, Hans, Ursula, Karsten, his wife Ingrid, and Axel moved to Canada. At that time, Alberta had a population of 2.3 million, compared to Germany's 78.3 million, on almost twice as much land. They loved the idea of pioneering the country and eventually settled in Red Deer. Their first Canadian deli location opened in Pines Shopping Plaza on November 1st, 1982. Red Deer customers were curious about the German deli and enjoyed the product selection. Many still remember that deli today for its outstanding quality meats. Striving to grow their business, Hans and Ursula sold the deli in 1985, purchasing an abattoir in Rocky Mountain House as West Country Meats. After the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, Hans and Ursula returned to Germany and claimed Paul Jr.'s estate through restitution. Their estate had been neglected for 40 years and no longer resembled what had been left behind. So Hans and Ursula fully renovated the property with their son Axel and wife Patty's help. The modernized business reopened in 1991 to the delight of customers. After a few years, they moved back to Canada. As Hans and Ursula left for Rocky Mountain House, Karsten and Ingrid stayed in Red Deer with their young children, Katrina and Karsten Jr. They began manufacturing as Nossack Fine Meats in Riverside Industrial Park in 1985. They faced numerous challenges in the early days, not only as newcomers to Canada and new parents, but also as business owners. Unfortunately, in 1987, Karsten injured his back while loading a truck of beef. He was immobile for several months and told his brother to close the business, as he did not think he would recover soon. Axel made a pivotal decision to support his brother's venture and continue to run production with Ingrid as Karsten recovered, allowing the company to stay in business. Eventually, Karsten was able to return and hired their first employee, Dave Reinbold. The first years with employees were extra challenging, and they fought for survival. There were not profits to pay wages. The employees were the priority, and they ensured they were always treated well and paid. Talk to us about going federal, building Nossack Fine Meats, purchasing Nossack Gourmet Foods, and creating the Nossack Food Group as we know it today.
That's a great story. I was inspired by two family friends, Werner and Peter, who had large manufacturing sites in Germany. I worked in one of them, and definitely I realized that I had to be CFIA Certified so that I can reach across Canada all the customers. So in 1991, we purchased the Nossack Fine Meats manufacturing facility on 78th Street in Red Deer. We made significant modifications to the building and spent 2 years converting recipes with the help of Paul from Hermelauer to have them CFIA approved. We received federal status in 1994, and in only 4 years, in 1998, we needed to expand the plant to accommodate our growth again. We constructed a new 40,000 square foot head office and distribution center in Red Deer. We planned an expansion of the building and a new production plant on site in 2008. However, economically reasons, the plans were put on hold. Instead, an opportunity came forward to purchase our customer, Sepp's Fine Foods, in 2008. The purchase was completed and Nossack Gourmet Foods officially entered the retail market. We're expanding retail offerings coming from Nossack Fine Meats as well.
You've dedicated 40 years of your life to making the Nossack Food Group what it is today. What motivated you to keep innovating while being faced with so much adversity? Being a newcomer to a country and facing business challenges, both health and financial.
Success to me was for sure not to return to Germany. Some people did not believe in my dreams, and I was determined to prove them different. This motivated me never to give up and always find solutions to challenges. I was and am hunting still my dreams.
You've worked closely with your brother for many years. How have you been there for each other in business and in your personal lives?
We began as a family. I was trained for wholesale, but adopted to selling smaller quantities in a deli, 50 gram at a time at a customer. Axel preferred butchering and processed wild game with our dad and mom in Rocky Mountain House. During difficult financial or health-related challenges, we stood tall for each other. These situations brought us together and strengthened our relationships.
What values were taught to you by your parents that you instilled in your children?
I'm passing on entrepreneurial skills to my children. Along with skills in business, being solution-oriented and never giving up. Patience, honest work, and treating others respectfully. On the personal side, I have always practiced a loving approach. Being humble, kind, and open-minded without a sense of entitlement are crucial values they embody.
What do you see as a future for the company?
Sky's the limit. We have created a solid foundation over the past 4 decades. 4 decades. As a result, we are well prepared for the next chapter of leadership by the next generation.
You were newlyweds when you first came to Canada. Did you have any idea what you were getting into?
I just trusted Karsten. When we came over 40 years ago, newly married to this young, overly polite fellow with big dreams, his dreams were so big in my world that I did call him a dreamer. But the passion and vision he has for business, along with a lot of determination, got us to where we are today.
How hard was it to adapt coming to a new country?
I missed my family a lot, but keeping busy does help. Growing up in a family business, I stepped into full support whatever we were doing, any task from cleaner to meat packer to office duties, eventually immersing myself into bookkeeping and implementing our first accounting system in 1987.
Any milestones in the early days?
The first 12 years of business, we were in this dark tunnel of not making any profits and just hanging in. 1991, when we moved to the 78th Street facility, we had the first growth spurt. Being able to increase distribution items, our Central Alberta team saw great successes. After receiving CFIA Certification in 1994 and a feature article in the Western Grocer magazine, we received inquiries from Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and finally there was light at the end of the tunnel. It was great to see the growth in national sales, and this success created new energy for Karsten to set new goals.
I understand you started to take your Nossack products to the farmers market. Tell me about those times.
From 1983 until 2007, we sold our products on Saturdays at the seasonal Red Deer Farmers Market. The market presence allowed us to be well known in the local community for quality products. Later on, our kids and some of their friends spent a lot of summers there serving customers and having their first work experiences. It taught them some great skills and the discipline to work.
How do you feel about what you and Karsten have achieved?
Looking back, it's amazing what has been established. Every past Nossack generation had to pull up roots and start as newcomers in a different city or region. Everyone succeeded in their way despite the economic or political challenges of the times. Coming to Canada was for sure the deepest uprooting, and the company as it stands today is indeed one of the biggest achievements for a Nossack generation. Karsten is incredibly driven, and he is the one that built and took this company where it is today. We have and have had some fantastic people on our team, and everyone plays a role or played a role on that ladder to success. I'm incredibly thankful for the journey we had.
You grew up surrounded by hardworking parents and grandparents focused on growth and innovation. You assumed enormous responsibilities early on by fully submerging yourself in the family business. What encouraged you to do so?
I believe it was the innovation that I had experienced in Germany during my apprenticeship. And it gave me a lot of passion and a vision for myself what this company could be.
You are the fifth generation tasked with carrying on the family legacy. What are your aspirations for continuing to grow Nossack Food Group?
That's a big question, but I think the passion through growth, what we've seen and experienced, and again, where we've come from to now in 40 years, I think further growth is really what excites me.
Nossack Food Group has been a part of Red Deer for 40 years. We've created employment opportunities in Central Alberta and supported our community. In addition, we've positively impacted newcomer families and their future generations. Since coming to Canada, the Nossack family has grown from 5 to 21 members. It's quite a legacy. Nossack Food Group has grown from 3 to approximately 150 employees, manufacturing quality products from coast to coast to coast. And the tradition continues.